So this is a video that's hard to make. Mostly I'm talking about how great the Philippines is, but I have to come clean in this video and talk about an aspect of the Philippines that I think is really toxic, a place that's really negative. Let's talk more about this now.
Subscribe now.
So when it comes to the Philippines, mostly Filipino people are very friendly, very respectful, really a joy to be around. But if I'm really honest, there's a part of Philippines that is quite the opposite of that. It's very critical, it's very judgmental. It's just not a lot of fun to be around. And that area of the Philippines looks a lot like me. You see, foreigners in the Philippines tend to be a very different part of Filipino culture. There's really two kinds of foreigners that come over here. One, they're just over here for a short time, they're on vacation, everything looks rosy, and they're generally happy, and then they leave. But there's another type of foreigner like me that comes over here and they decide, you know, I'm just tired for whatever reason of living in my own culture, and so I want to move to the Philippines for an extended period of time or maybe forever. And often how foreigners look over here is quite a bit different from the rest of the Philippines. Filipinos will take things in stride, whether things are positive or negative. Generally, they're pretty positive about things and really roll with the punches and make most of good times and even really terrible times. But the foreigners that are here are really quite a bit different. And you just got to look at any expat forum in the Philippines, focus on foreigners to just see how truly toxic and negative and critical people are that are foreigners that tend to come over here. So it really makes you wonder at times why there's people that come over here that decide to live here if they're seemingly so unhappy once they're here. And I gotta really be honest that I'm not just saying this pointing the finger at other people. I'm really pointing a few fingers back at myself when it comes to this topic, because for me, the longer I'm here, the more I'm probably critical or struggle with some different things as well. There's things that maybe aren't as efficient or that take longer or just different than I'm used to. And I just find that the longer I'm here, the more it kind of rubs me the wrong way, the more it's of a challenge to deal with. And so I think this video I'm doing for myself as much as I'm doing for anyone else that might find it worthwhile. So why is it that so many people that come over here wind up deciding I'd rather live here than my own culture, but still wind up being so judgmental, still wind up being so critical of things? For me, I think it comes down to the fact that human beings are just so slow to change who they are. They come to expect things to be a certain way, and when they're different, it's just really a struggle for them to deal with. I think at other times, people come over here and they just don't stay busy enough. They get into a rut and they're not making the most of life. Every day looks the same for them, and that just kind of develops kind of a toxicity within them as well. I think there's something really important for those of us that are foreigners living over in the Philippines to realize that we are the ones that are guests over here, and if anyone's gonna change, it can't be us that's expecting Filipino culture to change or Filipinos to change. It really needs to be us that adapt and that change, that learn from the culture, and that we really realize that all those things that we fell in love with at the beginning with Filipinos and with living in this beautiful country is still here, and we need to make the most of the things that drew us to stay here to begin with, to not forget those things over time, and to really make the most of our time here. Gotta be honest, one of the things that drives me the most crazy over here is when I see foreigners living here as a guest, whether they've been here for a very short time or a long time, and they're not really treating Filipinos with the same respect that they would treat people from their own culture or other Western cultures. They're really looking at Filipinos like they're somehow less than them. And I think for Filipinos that are living here, this comes across very clearly to them. And though the foreigners that treat other people like that think that they're kind of living in that way without other locals noticing it, it goes very clearly noticed. And the people here are just really kind and humble and very gracious in letting a lot of that attitude go. But it's embarrassing at times to be a foreigner here when you see other people being treated that way, when the reality is we should be the one showing more respect, more gratitude, because we're allowed to live here very graciously amongst people that welcome us with open arms here while we're here. I think there's a lot of other foreigners that come over here for a short time, and they're not really expats. Let's be real, they're sexpats. They're only here for one thing. They'll meet somebody for a short time, break some hearts, and then they're back to their country to leave a mess behind when they leave. Surely foreigners could do better for the Philippines when they come over here. At least have a genuine heart, at least have some genuine intentions for the people that you come over here and have an interaction with. So I'm curious if you are an expat living in the Philippines, or if you've been over here before, what are the things that you love most about the culture? What are the things that you like least about the culture? And what are the things that really drew you to live in the Philippines in the first place? Love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch, and take care.